Hello learners, our today's class is about understanding the aged and theoretical perspective in geriatric social work practice. Now let's see what is aging. Aging is the process of becoming older. It is a universal phenomena and natural biological process of life cycle. In India as well as in other countries across the globe, we see that population is aging very rapidly. Population aging is a process by which the proportion of older persons in the total population increases. You see, population aging is becoming a major concern all over the world, both for developed and developing countries. The 20th century witnessed significant demographic transitions owing to the increased progress in research, science and technology. The advances in healthcare and rapid economic development have resulted in reduced fertility and increased life expectancy. Let's now see the aged population in our country, in India. As per 2011 census, 8.6% of the total Indian population comprises of older persons. The population of older women is more compared to older men, with the sex ratio of 97 men per 100 women. While older women constitute around 8.98% of the total population, older men account for 8.19% of the total Indian population. Further, within the older population, women constitute 51%, while men amount to 49% only. Like the world, even in India, the older population itself is undergoing the process of aging. If we talk about population projection in India, it shows that already 9.6% of total population will be in 2021, and it is projected to increase to 15.5% by 2036, which would be about 2.29 million in absolute numbers, as per Registrar General of India 2019. Let's understand who are the aged. World Health Organization, United Nations, in 2015 officially categorized age of a person as: young age will be from 25 to 44, middle age from 44 to 60, elderly age 60 to 75, senile age 75 to 90, and long livers will be after 90 years. Old age is a period of life when the physical ability wanes and different morbidities are on a rise. Therefore, the people belonging to this category are considered as a vulnerable population. If we look at some of the characteristics of old age, we can see they are having physical changes that come with getting older, include wrinkles, grey hair, loss of strength and decreased mobility. They also face different health issues like maybe different diseases, diabetes, heart disease, arthritis, etc. Cognitive changes are also very common in this time. They are unable to remember information, learn new things, maybe due to memory loss and other decline in cognitive functioning. Emotional changes are also very common. we see them having increased anxiety, depression, and feeling of loneliness. Now let's see what are the reasons for increase in old age population. The first reason is declining fertility. Now several factors contribute to the decreasing fertility rate in India. First is urbanization and modern lifestyles. Due to improved access to education, professions and healthcare, urban women frequently choose to raise smaller families. Second is delayed marriage. When combined with job development, it also shortens the reproductive period. Family planning and awareness. Now people are having improved access to contraception and family planning services. This has empowered couples to decide their family size. The fourth is economic pressure. Rising cost of living, especially in cities, make raising multiple children financially challenging. A decreasing reproductive rate has many advantages, but it can also present serious problems like population aging. It is expected that India's senior population will increase significantly by 2050, which will eventually be placing strain on healthcare institutions. Another reason for increasing the aged population is declining mortality rate. Mortality is an increase in life expectancy, which refers to the average number of years that a person may be expected to live. In early human development, mortality was mainly caused by deadly diseases and infections from pathogenic microorganisms in the external environment. Severe infectious diseases such as plague, cholera, smallpox, tuberculosis, and syphilis raised and killed countless people at that time. Most of the decline in mortality can be attributed to better health technology, affordability, and improved education, with varying degrees of importance depending on the time and context. Another reason is increased life expectancy due to advancement in healthcare facilities. During the 20th century, life expectancy increased noticeably, primarily due to innovations in public health and medicine between 1920 and 2020. The average human lifespan almost doubled during this period. Medical science and technology have been advancing each year, resulting in healthier, longer lifespans and better medical treatment options. The average life expectancy has increased from 45 years in 1850 to almost 80 years in recent years as a result of medical progress. The medical advances that are driving increased longevity span a wide range, including developments in diagnostics, medical devices, procedures, and prescription drugs. And their impact on overall life expectancy comes in the form of healthier lifestyles, preventive care, earlier and more accurate medical diagnosis, and increased quality of treatment after diagnosis. Another contributing point is better health consciousness. Health is influenced by a combination of factors. One's health condition is not only about whether a person is sick, but also about whether he or she has the ability to maintain a normal life. Chronic degenerative diseases are often accompanied by varying degrees of long-term or short-term loss of capacity, especially vision and hearing impairment, stroke, osteoarthritis, diabetes, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, Alzheimer's disease, and many other age-related conditions. Loss of capacity is reflected not only in the decline of motor function and perceptive and cognitive ability, but also in the limitation of performing the activities of daily living, such as going out independently, doing their shopping, or any sort of financial management. More importantly, it may lead to a low sense of social participation, depression, anxiety, loneliness, and other psychological changes. Health consciousness is the degree to which a person is concerned about their health and takes steps to care for it. Health conscious people are more likely to have healthy habits, like they try to eat nutritious foods, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and adhering to medical recommendations. Another point is about improved nutrition. What one eats has a direct impact on the cells in the body, which in turn has an impact on their longevity. A healthy diet provides cells with vital sources of energy and keeps them stable and working as they should. Healthy food supports our immune cells, which defend against infections and other health threats, protect other cells from damage, and help the body repair or replace damaged cells. Nutrition is about eating a healthy and balanced diet so that our body gets the nutrients it needs. Nutrients are the substances in food that our bodies need to so that they can function properly and grow. These include carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water. Good nutrition is always important no matter at whatever age we are. It also helps to prevent some diseases like osteoporosis, high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and also certain cancers. But as one ages, our body and life keeps on changing, and so does what one needs to stay healthy. For example, if you are old, you may require fewer calories, but you still need to get enough nutrients. Some older adults may need more protein according to their requirement. Let's see what are the challenges posed by aging. We see that the life expectancy of human beings is getting longer. But this doesn't mean that a longer life is always a healthier life. In that extended life expectancy in old age, are people really healthy, strong, and living a comfortable life? Or they are sick, disabled, and bedridden? Unlike young people, the health status among older people and their coping ability varies greatly. Some people, even in their 80s, may still have almost the same physical strength and intelligence as young people do, while others are more or less affected by diseases or even loss of different capacities. For the latter, they suffer not only from the declining ability to take care of themselves in their daily life, but also from a reduced positive life experience, as they could hardly gain value through participation in social life, sharing experience, and imparting knowledge. The widely diverse health conditions of senior citizens also result in significantly different family care needs and financial burdens. It is safe to say that a happy and dignified life in old age is not at all possible without good health condition. Old age people are confronting with so many challenges in their daily life. Let's go through some of them. Physical changes with aging, cognitive changes with aging, psychosocial changes with aging, and financial changes with aging. Let's look at all these one by one. Physical changes with aging. We can notice decline in physical strength and mobility. Sleep is disturbed, having problem with appetite and digestive system. Increased risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension are very common. Sensory changes are also quite noticeable, like loss in their vision and in their hearing capacity. Regarding cognitive changes with aging, a common symptom seen is decline in their memory and learning abilities, changes in problem solving and decision making abilities. There are high risk of getting dementia and Alzheimer's disease. That means overall slowness is thinking is observed and it is difficulty in sustaining attention. Multitasking, holding information in their mind. Regarding social and emotional changes that happens with aging, the most important change that takes place is the change in social roles and relationships. There is increased risk of loneliness and isolation, changes in emotional well-being and mental health. Some old age people may become over suspicious also. They lack trust in anyone and always feel that they are getting manipulated. This behavior can affect their interpersonal relationships and also disrupt the family harmony. The financial changes with aging is a very hard time to manage. The older adults have difficulty in managing money, making investment decisions, and avoiding frauds. They may also have difficulty with everyday math, understanding financial concepts, and identifying risk factors. They become financially dependent on others to solve their daily requirements. Despite having lots of years of experience, at some point their financial capability diminishes with age, making it more difficult for them to completely handle money matters. So these are some of the problems which the older adults face continuously. Now let's talk about gerontology. What is gerontology? Gerontology is a field of science that seeks to understand the process of aging and the challenges encountered as the seniors grow older. Gerontologists investigate age, aging, and the aged. Gerontologists study what it is like to be an older adult in a society and the ways that aging affects members of a society. In social work practice with elderly, it includes a broad range of functions. As per National Association of Social Workers, whether we are working in a micro or a macro setting, the most important objective of social workers is to tackle particular challenges of the aging process by promoting freedom, autonomy, and self-esteem in the latter part of their life. Gerontological social work interventions are directed at enhancing dignity, self-determination, personal fulfillment, quality of life, optimal functioning, and ensuring the least restrictive environment possible for them. Now let's see some of the theoretical perspectives in geriatric social work practice. The first theory which we are going to discuss is disengagement theory. Disengagement theory, given by Cummings and Henry in 1961, posits that Successful aging means an acceptance and desire for the process of disengagement from active life. The social scientists Elaine Cummings and William Earl Henry created and presented disengagement theory in their book Growing Old in 1961. They created several postulates that comprise their disengagement theory. Let's see them one by one. First, people lose social ties to those around them as they approach death, and their ability to engage with others decreases over time. As a person begins to disengage, they are freed from the social norms that guide interaction. This losing touch with norms reinforces and fuels the process of disengagement. The disengagement process varies between men and women due to their different social roles in the society. An individual's life is punctuated by ego change. Aging is an ego change that causes knowledge and skill to deteriorate. Meanwhile, success in modern industrialized society demands certain knowledge and skill. Age grading, whether older adults retreat from their formal roles, demands that the young possess sufficient knowledge and skill to assume authority and the old retire before they lose their skills. Either the individual recognizing that their knowledge and skills are in decline disengages, or the organization chooses to make the individual disengage. When both the individual and society are ready for disengagement, complete disengagement process results. When neither is ready, continuing engagement results. When the individual is ready but the society is not, there is a disconnect between the expectations of the individual and of the members of the social system, but engagement usually continues. However, when society is ready and the individual is not, the result of the disjunction is usually disengagement. Men and women have certain roles in the society. If individuals abandon their central roles, they lose space in social life, resulting in crisis and demoralization unless they assume the different roles required by someone who is disengaged. Individuals become ready to disengage when they are aware of the shortness of life and the scarcity of their own time. As the individual sees the years they have left number shorter and shorter, the individual loses ego energy. Every level of society gives individuals permission to disengage because of the requirements of the occupational system in an affluent society, the nuclear family, and the differential death rate. Fewer interactions and disengagement from central roles lead to the relationships in one's remaining roles changing. As this happens, relational rewards become more diverse, and those the engaged persons was once above become equals. Although disengagement theory is independent of culture, the form it takes is bound by the culture. The next theory which we are going to say is systems theory. This theory originated from the works of Emile Durkheim and also from the works of Talcott Parsons. Social work professionals developed a holistic view on individuals and their surroundings, well connected to several other such systems, entangled in a web of social interactions which is susceptible to change. This theory explains human behavior as the meeting point of numerous interconnected systems. According to this theory, all systems are interconnected parts which constituted an ordered whole, and each subsystem influences other parts of the whole. System theory is used to develop a holistic view of individuals within a situation and hence best applied to situations where several systems were inseparable and connected to influence one another. This theory helps the geriatric social work professionals to understand how clients or persons with problems who are connected to families, organizations, societies, and other systems, which are essentially drawn in and well thought, recognize and assist the client with problems. Better understanding on the behavior will help geriatric social work practitioners to provide the most appropriate practice interventions. Next theory which we are going to discuss is activity theory. Activity theory is about successful aging and contents that people develop ideas about themselves and their identity from two major sources: the activities carried out by the individuals and the functions they discharge in their life. Havighurst and Albrecht in 1953 came out with one of the first aging theories by doing a research among a group of adults. They concluded that society expects retirees to remain active in their communities. Robert J. Havighurst developed the activity theory in 1960s. It is one of the three key psychosocial theories explaining how people develop in old age. According to the activity theory of aging, maintaining an engaged and active lifestyle can have a positive effect on the individual's physical and mental well-being. Essentially, activity theory claims that the more one does, the better they'll age. According to activity theory, which is also known as implicit theory of aging, normal theory of aging, and lay theory of aging, there is a positive relationship between a person's level of activity and life satisfaction, which in turn increases how positively one person views himself or herself. And this improves adjustment in the later life. Positive relationship between a person's level of activity and his life satisfaction, it tends to increase the self-worth and provides a higher self-esteem. Lowe et al. In 2008 further developed the theory and elaborated that activities help older people replace lost life roles, especially when these activities are meaningful and fulfilling. The activity theory of aging is a psychosocial theory that suggests that people age more positively when they remain active and socially engaged. The theory is based on the idea that people develop a sense of self through activities and different roles, and that giving up these activities and roles as people age can lead to a loss of identity. The theory suggests that older adults can age successfully if they are maintaining social interactions, taking on productive roles in society, replacing lost roles with new activities. The theory also suggests that informal activities, which are activities that facilitate social interactions, are the most beneficial for well-being. Now let's move on to continuity theory. George L. Maddox and Robert Ashley are most commonly associated with the continuity theory. This theory postulates that in making suitable choices in life, middle-aged and elderly individuals attempt to care for and sustain prevailing internal and external structures. And thus they tend to choose to achieve their goals by utilizing methods using their previous experiences of themselves and their social environment. The theory also believes that change is associated to the individual's perceived past, developing continuity in personal psychological traits as well as in social conduct and in social situation. Hence, continuity is considered as an impressive adaptive approach that is encouraged by both individual choices as well as social sanction. The continuity theory proposes that older adults maintain the same activities, behaviors, personalities, and relationships of the past. Internal structures of continuity remain constant over a lifetime and include elements such as personality traits, ideas, and beliefs. It helps people make future decisions by providing them with a stable foundation in the past. External structures of continuity help maintain a stable self concept and lifestyle and include relationships and social roles. Our next theory is role theory. Role theory is formulated to describe how persons who take up meticulous social positions are supposed to carry out the social aspirations towards their behavior and how the individuals expect others to carry out similar defined roles. Role theory proposes to explain the way in which human beings behave more predictable in their socially assigned roles in the given situation. Every role played by the individual is very much associated with age and the stage of human development. Hence, age-related capacity to carry out the social functioning process and associated challenges are imminent. Moreover, elderly persons shall take fresh assignments to deal with their situation, and sometimes they will be subjected to disapproval from the family and the society. Role theory is a prominent social aging theory that explains how people lose roles as they age and how they take on the new ones. If we talk about role loss, as people age, they often lose roles such as spouse or the parents or any active member of the society. This can lead to the feeling of loss of control and poorer health. Role substitution also happens. People can substitute lost roles with the new ones. Role readaptation. After retirement, the elderly people need time to adjust to new roles and social situations. This can involve a decline in social adaptability and social discomfort that can last for more than a year. Role evolution. People can evolve their life story, social engagement, and dramatic expression as they age. Role theory is based on the idea that roles are sets of expectations, norms, behaviors, duties, and rights that define a person as a social being. Roles are associated with age and stage of life, are the basis of identity and self-concept. Now we come on to the next theory, which is age stratification theory. It was developed by Matilda White Riley and her colleagues in 1970s. Riley explained age stratification theory by claiming in every place a layered pattern of society exists whereby social interaction takes place. The stratification of the members of the society is based on age. Furthermore, the status of a person achieved in the society also contributes for the value of a person decided by their age, considered as an ascribed status to a certain extent than an achieved status. The age stratification theory of aging, also known as aging and society perspective, is a conceptual framework that explores how age is socially constructed and how it shapes people's behavior. The theory of age stratification views age as a process and a structure which considers the biological and psychological development of individuals as well as how they enter and exit social roles. It emphasizes the social structure that shape people's behavior. It looks at how social structures relate to people at different ages and how they relate to age-related expectations and sanctions. It recognizes that aging is socially constructed. It emphasizes that the ways people age can change over time. Since society considers age as the major factor for the individuals to avail opportunities and utilize resources in both political and economic scenario, it leads to differences in inequality in accessing resources in the society. Moreover, in this theory, it also explains that the rights, freedom to utilize resources in the society diminish based on age. To conclude, it can be said that the aged also experience rapid growth in developing. To conclude, it can be said that the aged also experiences rapid growth in depending family members and community to have a better space to utilize all the available resources for one's personal development. Next theory is life course theory. Life course theory is an approach towards the course of life and its interconnectedness to the past to explore the individual's life entangled in a web of social relationship. This theory draws ideas from various fields of study such as psychology, economics, history, sociology, etc. This theory more precisely connects the individual's present problems towards the past experiences. Life course theory describes that a series of socially defined actions and roles that the people demonstrate over time. Sometimes it may not happen in a systematic sequential order, but it is important to understand the sum total of experiences undergone by the individual should be taken into consideration for effective understanding of problems faced by individuals concerned. Life course perspective opines that in the process of human development, it is important to understand the time and space in the ever-changing social attributes. Further, it also says that human development and aging is a continuous process, and how an individual's future decisions have historical relevance and experience. Thus, the concept of life course suggests the existence of disproportionate aging phenomena in the society, and on the other side, there exist standardized life cycle stages and the lifespan. Last theory of today's discussion is psychosocial development theory. Erikson articulated psychosocial development theory to describe how internal and external forces work together to persuade psychological development. Erikson assumed every individual must pass through 8 stages of psychosocial development during their lifetime. The first stage he named trust versus mistrust. The first stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development occurs between birth and first year of age. Because an infant is totally dependent, developing trust is based on the dependability and the quality of caregiver. The child is totally dependent upon the caregiver for everything he or she needs to survive, including food, love, warmth, safety, and nurturing. If the caregiver fails to provide adequate care and love, the child will come to feel that they cannot trust or depend on any adults in their life. The second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. This stage takes place during early childhood and is focused on children developing a greater sense of personal control. At this point in development, children are just starting to gain a little independence. They are starting to perform basic actions on their own and making simple decisions about what they prefer. The essential theme of this stage is that children need to develop a sense of personal control over physical skills and a sense of independence. Potty training plays an important role in helping children develop this sense of autonomy. The third stage is initiative versus guilt. This takes place during the preschool years. At this point in psychosocial development, children begin to assert their power and control over the world through directing play and other social interactions. Children who are successful at this age feel capable and able to lead others. Those who fail to acquire these skills are left with a sense of guilt, self-doubt, and lack of initiative. The fourth stage is industry versus inferiority. The fourth psychosocial stage takes place during the early school years from approximately ages 5 to 11. Through social interactions, children begin to develop a sense of pride in their accomplishments and abilities. Children need to cope with new social and academic demands. Success leads to a sense of competence, while failure results in feeling of inferiority. Fifth stage is identity versus confusion. This stage takes place during the teenage years. This stage plays an essential role in developing a sense of personal identity, which will continue to influence behavior and development for the rest of a person's life. Teenagers need to develop a sense of self and personal identity. Success leads to an ability to stay true to yourself, while failure leads to role confusion and a weak sense of self. Sixth stage is intimacy versus isolation. Young adults need to form intimate, loving relationships with other people. Success at this stage leads to a strong relationship, while failure at this stage results in loneliness and isolation. This stage covers the period of early adulthood when people are exploring personal relationships. Erikson believed it was vital that people develop close, committed relationships with other people. The fourth stage is generativity versus stagnation. Adults need to create or nurture things that will outlast them, often by having children or creating a positive change that benefits other people. Success at this stage leads to feeling of usefulness and accomplishment, while failure results in shallow involvement in the world. Those who are successful during this phase will feel that they are contributing to the world by being active member in their home and community. But those who fail to attain this skill will feel that they are unproductive and totally uninvolved in the world. The last stage is integrity versus despair. This is the final psychosocial stage which occurs during old age. And this stage is mostly focused on reflecting back on life. At this point in development, people look back on the events of their lives and determine if they are happy with the life that they have lived or if they regret the things they did or didn't do. Erikson's theory differed from many others because it addressed development through the entire lifespan, including old age. Older adults need to look back on life and feel a sense of fulfillment. Success at this stage leads to the feeling of wisdom while failure results in regret, bitterness, and despair. Those who look back on a life they feel was well lived will feel satisfied and ready to face the end of their lives with a sense of peace. Those who look back and only feel regret will instead feel fearful that their lives will end without accomplishing the things they feel they should have. So, in this chapter, we can see that we have discussed most of the theories and seen how these theories affect the process of aging and explain the process of how all organisms age. So, thank you so much for today's class.